Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Pantsir missile system. This tutorial will include the Panzer S1 and the Panzer S2. The Panzer missile system is a family of self-propelled medium-range surface-to-air missile and anti-aircraft artillery systems. Three types of vehicles make up a system: a missile launcher, a radar truck, and a command post. Starting with the Panzer S1, known by the reporting name SA-22 Greyhound. As the first version, it is produced by KBP, Instrumental Design Bureau of Tola, Russia, and is the successor to the Tunguska M1. The Panzer S1 was designed to provide point air defense of military, industrial, and administrative installations against aircraft, helicopters, precision munitions, cruise missiles, and UAVs, and to provide additional protection to air defense units against enemy air attacks employing precision munitions, especially at low to extreme low altitudes. The Panzer is a pretty sick-looking anti-aircraft piece of equipment, and basically it's just a Tunguska turret mounted on the top of a truck, and it's pretty sweet. I really do like this build. I think it's a really cool one. As I mentioned, this tutorial will cover the S1 and S2 versions. Basically, the only difference really I was able to find between the two is going to be the radar system used on top of the turret. So you'll see the two different radar systems, and we'll be covering those two different systems in this tutorial as well. So you can build the more modernized S2 or the S1 depending on what you want to go for. But with that, let's go and dive in here to taking a look here at the build, and obviously we'll move into the tutorial from there. So start off with, we have the S1 here. The vehicle for both models is all completely the same. It's just a Kamaz. Actually have the supply truck right here. It is a Kamaz 6560 8x8 heavy truck. That is the base for this vehicle. So we have the cab of the vehicle, the kind of control center that's located right in here. It's an 8x8 vehicle, so 4 wheels on each side, 4 axles. Got a lot of detail here all the way along the side there. Then you have the actual housing here where the turret is mounted and has a bunch of different missile launchers on it, and also some guns on it. So it's a pretty lethal piece of equipment here that we have. And then we have the back of the vehicle. Nothing really too fancy here, just your front back bumper and just the back of the system. And this other side here is pretty much exactly the same. And then the main differences here, obviously both turrets are the same. Your main differences are going to be your radar. So this right here is the radar system for the S1. And then the S2 here has a bit of a different design to it, so a little bit of a different housing. As I mentioned, that's about it I was able to find in terms of the differences between the two. There might be some more little physical differences between the truck bases, or maybe some extra instrumentation or something on the vehicles, but from what I was able to gather, they pretty much look like the same truck, just with a different radar system. So that's pretty cool stuff. And then we also have the different vehicles that would accompany it, so the radar truck and also the command post. So maybe in the future we'll see some tutorials for how to do those, so you can complete a entire Panzer battery, which would be kind of cool. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so starting with our first layer, we'll be going ahead and starting with layer 1. Now, just to go ahead and throw this in there, both vehicles are going to be, again, exactly the same for pretty much the whole entirety of this tutorial. Again, those only differences are going to be in that radar position up on the top there, and we're going to talk about that in detail for each one, and we're going to build basically just the base vehicle without the radar system and add it on at the end. So if you're worried about anything being different between the two, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that more specifically later. I also want to throw in also that I'm going to include how to actually extend the stabilizers out to the sides of the vehicle as well. So if you want to have this thing kind of locked down and in a like fighting position or a deployed version, I'll be talking about that as well. That'll be probably something we'll cover near the end of the video as well. Anyways, let's get started with this. So we're going to place down a row of 2 of polished blackstone upside down stairs like this. We're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor, a polished blackstone top slab, another dark oak wood trapdoor, and another 2 polished blackstone stairs back to back. Obviously the front of our vehicle is going to be up here, so this kind of middle section, this axle connecting the wheels, is going to be on the back side of these stairs. We're going to go ahead and skip 1, 2, and on our third space back, we're going to place down another 2 polished blackstone stairs back to back. Same thing over here on this side. And then we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor across here, polished blackstone slab, and another dark oak wood trapdoor like that. After that's done, we're going to place down a we're going to go and skip a space. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks back. So again, we have a space of 5. And we're going to place down 2 polished blackstone stairs back to back as well, like that. Then we want to go ahead and place down a dark oak trapdoor. That's going to sit like this, a polished black stone top slab, another dark oak trapdoor, and another 2 polished black stone stairs back to back. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and skip a space of 1, and we're going to place down 2 more polished black stone stairs back to back. So like that, a dark oak trapdoor, a polished black stone slab, and another dark oak trapdoor like that. Now, once we get to this point, we're going to go ahead and skip a space back from the stairs. We're going to place down a row of 5 polished dark oak trapdoors across the back there of the vehicle like so. So taking a look at it from up above, that's what we should have for the top-down view with this layer all complete. And really the main thing is just to pay attention to the spacing between our wheels. You have a space of 2 here, a space of 5 between the second and third axle, and there's a space of 1 between the third and fourth. So just make sure that that's all lining up and good to go. Other than that though, that is going to complete everything we have for layer number 1 of the build, and we'll be moving on to layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a polished black stone stair back to back on each one of our 8 wheels, and this is just going to again be done for each wheel. So in the end, we should have a total of 8 of these circular shapes here made out of stairs to represent our wheels. And that is going to conclude that. Now once that's done, we're going to take our black concrete, we can go ahead and use black concrete. We're going to take our black concrete and we're just going to place down a row 3 on our axle here toward the front. So this is obviously our front axle up here. We're going to go ahead and place down a grindstone coming off those 2 black concrete blocks, and then a polished deep slate block there in the center. To the sides of these, we're going to place down a dark prismarine stair. And we're going to then place down a dark oak sign coming off the front of the stair. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and place down a green terracotta block coming off those 2 stairs. Another prismarine stair like this to both sides, and then in that middle space there between those stairs, we're going to place down a dark prismarine slab. We're also going to go ahead and just place down a acacia wood button on these 2 green terracotta blocks like that on the front. After that is done there, going ahead and going back from this, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves anvils, and we're going to place down anvils on each one of these polished black stone top slabs on the axles. Then taking our gray concrete, we're going to place down 1 and 2 on both sides of this first anvil, and then 1 back on each side. We then want to place down a dark oak trapdoor that's going to come off those stairs like that for a little bit of the mud flaps, or the fenders in this case. Then we want to place down a row of polished black stone walls, so we'll grab that from over here, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a row of 3 across this space. We also want to go ahead and grab our end rods, and for the drive shaft of the vehicle, we're going to place down 2 end rods down the center here. After that is done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a gray concrete block to both sides. Coming off this gray concrete block, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of polished black stone walls. So we have 1, 2, and then it's going to be basically all the way actually to the back here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total of 6 here going down the center. Now we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone wall to both sides here. And then we also want to go ahead and place down a polished black stone wall right here in this space. Again, down the center here, we're just going to place down our end rods for that drive shaft that's going to link up to the rear wheels. In the middle space here, between these anvils, we're going to place down 1 last end rod, and then a gray concrete block to both sides. Coming off the side of this gray concrete block, we're going to go ahead and grab an item frame and a gray bed. And we're going to place down an item frame like this, and then a gray bed slightly angled so the pillow is facing up and toward the back of the vehicle. Same thing over here, and if you're on Java, we can also place a dark oak sign on the side of that as well. Once that's done there, we're going to take our polished blackstone walls, we're going to place down 2 back, like that. And then we want to place down additional 2 walls back like so. And then we want to go ahead and place down a wall across the center here. And we're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone slab to both sides like that. Once we have that done, we're going to take our item frames. We're going to place down 2 item frames on each side here. And in those item frames, we want to go ahead and first grab some red beds and some red concrete. We're going to place down red beds that are going to be sideways with the pillow facing toward the middle. On both sides, and then a red concrete block on the inner side here. And then we're just going to take dark oak signs, and we're going to place down dark oak signs across the front there of those slabs and walls if you're on Java, and also just a dark oak sign there across that middle wall like that. After we have that all done, that is going to wrap up what we have there for that. And the very last thing here is going to be the use of these banners. Now these banners are really simple. I'm not going to show you guys how to make them loom because they're just so easy. Basically, they're just a black banner. You're going to need 2 green dye, 4 black dye. And we're going to go ahead and place down a green line on the right side of one banner, a green line on the left side of the other banner, and then just a black horizontal line across the tops of both banners and a black horizontal line across the bottom. Really straightforward stuff, and you're just going to place them on the side here of these polished black stone stairs with the green facing toward each other. And this here is basically just to go ahead and complete the wheels here of the vehicle. So just like that, and you have a pretty good looking chassis here. Now for the sides, we do have a little bit of detailing also that's kind of in this midsection here. It's a little bit different on each side, so make sure you pay close attention. But on the left side here, we're going to place down a hopper like so, and then 2 gray concrete blocks back. We're going to place down buttons on the side of these gray concrete blocks, and on the other side, it's going to be 2 gray concrete blocks here, and then polished black stone buttons again on the side. And then we're going to place down a polished black stone brick upside down stair. And the stair is going to have an item frame that comes off of it with a gray concrete block in the item frame. And if you're on Java, we can place a dark oak wood sign on the side of that stair as well. But that right there is going to complete everything we have for layer number 2. And here's a top-down view of what that looks like with the chassis all complete. And with that, we're going to be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a row of 3 of deep slate tile stairs upside down across the space like so, followed by a dark prismarine upside down corner stair to the sides. We then want to place down an item frame coming off these corner stairs with a snowball in the item frames, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood sign, or rather actually first a mossy cobblestone wall to both sides here, and a dark oak wood sign on the side of that wall. Then across this middle space here, we're just going to take black concrete, place down a row of 3. We then want to place down a second row of 3 of black concrete across the center, this time followed with a dark prismarine upside down stair to both sides. After that, we're going to go ahead and then take our polished blackstone. We're going to place down a row of 3 across the middle, and then we're going to place down a dark prismarine top slab to both sides. We're going to go ahead and also take our black banners. We're going to place down a black banner coming off these top slabs here for, again, completing the fenders there. After we get to this point, we're going to take a polished black stone wall. We're going to place it on top of this block here, this block, and we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 walls back. Actually, sorry, 1 less, so it's going to be 13, and then a polished black stone upside down stair. We're going to go ahead and then place down a gray concrete block here in the center, and then another polished black stone upside down stair, and we're going to go ahead and again run a row of walls all the way up to the front until we connect up to this polished blackstone slab. In the middle space here between the walls, we're just going to take polished blackstone top slabs and just put a row of top slabs all the way across down the center. Now once you have that done, onto the sides here, we're going to place down a section of 2 polished blackstone top slabs and then a polished blackstone upside down stair there. Then we want to go ahead and skip a space, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 polished blackstone top slabs, then a upside down polished blackstone stair, then 3 polished blackstone top slabs, and a polished blackstone upside down stair. And the same thing is going to be done over here on this side as well. And we're going to place down our 3 top slabs forward, upside down stair, our 4 top slabs forward, skip this space here, our upside down stair, and our 2 top slabs like that. And that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for that. And I'm trying to make sure there's not too much we're missing. Just a few things on the back here. First, going to be a wither skeleton skull coming off that block there. And we also want to go and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor that's going to be kind of off to the side here, diagonal from that upside down stair in that corner there. So once you have that all complete there, that is going to wrap up what you have for this layer. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving in to talking about our stabilizers on the vehicle. So before we go and move into our next layer, I want to go in real quickly talk about the stabilizers and how to go ahead and do it for the 2 different versions. Now, if you're wanting to have the vehicle kind of in a transit mode or maybe just stationary parked without really being deployed or operational, you can go ahead and place down a polished blackstone wall here and then a dark oak wood fence post that goes down. And then underneath this, we're just going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor to go ahead and show the storage of those basically supports there. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and make that a wall. So you have the 2 walls that go down. Then you also have back here, you can go ahead and place down 2 walls that go down like this, and then another dark oak wood trapdoor on the bottom there. And that's those kind of stowed away supports. Now, if you want the supports actually extended and you want this thing deployed or ready to engage targets, I went ahead and placed down a dark oak wood fence gate here, then a polished blackstone wall, and then drop down an air wall down. a end rod, and then in the ground here, I'm going to replace that with a green shulker box. So you kind of have a little bit of playability with what you can include here. And as you can see, I have the same thing on the back here, like that. So again, you can have those kind of deployed to help stabilize the vehicle when it fires and keep it accurate, or you can have them stowed away if it's in like a transit position or a convoy, or maybe just parked or something like that. So again, you have some playability and what you guys can do there with it. So just some more little fun play features. But with that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to begin with, we're going to take our green terracotta. We're going to place down a row of 5 all the way across the front of the build here, and then we're going to place down a lever to both sides. We're going to go ahead and then place down 1 and 2 green terracotta blocks to the sides, and then a row of 3 or 2 rows of 3 of black concrete across the center there. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone upside down stair on the right side here, and a second stair like that. And then on the other side here, we're going to be placing down 2 gray concrete blocks, and then a dark oak fence gate opened up toward the gray concrete. We then want to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of gray concrete across this middle space here, and another fence gate to this side. On the fence gate, coming off of them, we're going to place down iron frames, and we're going to then place down iron bars in the iron frames. So you have 2 iron frames and iron bars in them, just like that. And the same thing, or it will be a little bit different on both sides, so just make sure you're translating those over properly. We then want to go and grab our green terracotta. We're going to place down a row of 3, and then a green concrete block to both sides. We're going to place down 1 more green concrete block going back, and again 2 green concrete blocks across the center there. The green concrete's not necessary, but basically it's going to be a little bit more useful in terms of trying to highlight where the doors would be for this back hatch. After that's done, though, we're going to take our green concrete, green terracotta, we're going to place down another row of 5 across, then a second row of 5, then we have 3, 4, and 5 across there. We're going to place down a row of 3, and then we want to go ahead and grab a mossy cobblestone wall, and we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall to both sides like so. We're going to place down another row of 3 of green terracotta across. This here will be followed with a green stained glass pane to the sides there. And then we're going to place down another row of 3 of green terracotta across. And then come off this row of 3, we're going to place down a row of 3 of green stained glass panes like that. Or you could also use dark oak with trapdoors. I'm going to use dark oak with trapdoors instead. So it's going to look like that there. And then we're going to take our green terracotta, and we're going to go ahead and skip this space here, and we're going to place down a row of 5 going all the way across here. Now what's going to happen next is we're going to take some iron bars, and we're going to start on the second green terracotta block from back here, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iron bars across here, like so. And honestly, we can probably just make this a 7th one, and we're going to do the same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 back. So it's going to bring us to that point there. We also can go ahead and grab some black carpet, or rather actually some gray carpet, and we can just place on top of the polished black stone, stuff like that. So it's going to look like that there for this section. Once that's done, we're going to take our green terracotta, we're going to place down 2 more rows going across here, and then we want to go ahead and place down item frames on the sides of these 2 blocks, and in those item frames we're going to go ahead and place down iron bars. Now just a little quick note here, you may have to make an alteration to this. So if you have your legs deployed, you won't be able to do the item frame trick. Instead, I would recommend going ahead and grabbing your deep slate and placing down 2 deep slate blocks here instead. And you can do the same thing on both sides. Now this can be applied for both versions. However, it's especially important for the legs stick out to the side because you cannot place down an item frame above a wall for some reason. So you will have to just kind of make the vents look a little bit like that. But it all works out. It's not that big of a deal because we can just go ahead and take some dark prismarine and place down an upside down stair there, and they kind of hides those blocks pretty well. Also, we're going to take some mossy cobblestone walls. We're going to swap out those 2 green terracotta blocks for walls, and you have that design there. And honestly, it doesn't look really that bad with the deep slate on the side there. After that, though, we want to go and then place down a dark oak sign coming off these stairs just like that on the back. So that right there is what you guys should have. Moving back up here to the front real quick, our green concrete. We're going to place down a ladder here and then a lever like this on both sides. And honestly, I'm also going to add ladders onto these 2 blocks here for your vents. which could actually work out. You can actually swap these to green terracotta. So just making some changes here on the fly to trying to make it work a little bit better, but you can also do that on the back there. So a couple options for what you can do on the back of the vehicle. Anyways, though, that is going to complete what we have for this layer, and it's actually the last thing here is going to be a tripwire hook coming off this green terracotta block there. But that is right there is going to conclude everything we have for layer number 4 of the build. Here is a top-down view of what that will look like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 5. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to start with, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of nether brick walls across, and then we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall to both ends, followed by a polished blackstone wall coming off those walls like that. After that is all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of black concrete across this space here, a black stained glass block to both sides, and then we want to go ahead and place down another black concrete block to the sides and a row of 3 of green terracotta across in between those black concrete blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone stair like this back to back over that spare tire, and like we did before, we're going to go ahead and place down our banners to go ahead and kind of make that wheel look. We then want to place down 2 polished blackstone walls like this, and then we're going to place down 2 gray concrete blocks next to those walls. And then out to the side here, we're going to place down our 2 dark oak fence gates, again open like so, item frames on the side of those fence gates, and then some iron bars in those item frames like so. We're going to go ahead and then place down another set of 2 of rows of 3 of green terracotta across that middle space, and then a green concrete block to both sides. It's going to be a ladder here on the sides of these blocks, and then a lever that's going to be flicked downwards on the sides of those ones there. We're going to go and then take our green terracotta. We're going to place down another row all the way across, and then a second row of 5 like so. We'll grab an item frame and a white bed. We're going to place down an item frame here and a white bed on the sides of this first row of 5. And then we're also just going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of it if you're on Java. After that, we want to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of green terracotta across the space here, and then a deep slate tile block to both sides like that. Once we have that done, we're going to take our green terracotta, we're going to place down a row of 5 across, and then a second row of 5 across that space there. We're going to go then place down 3 rows of 3, going down the center here, and then a mossy cobblestone wall on top of these ones, and then a green stained glass pane coming off those walls. And then on the back here again, just the dark oak trapdoors across like that. Again, we'll take our iron bars, and we're just going to place down a stack of iron bars directly above the blocks we just placed. So again, that's going to be done on both sides here like so. Then in this space here, we're going to place down a green shulker box to both sides, and then a row of 3 of green terracotta across. We then want to go ahead and place down a row of 5 of green terracotta across, and on the sides here of that, we're going to go ahead and place down probably just our ladders like so to continue that vent design from the bottom there. And then we want to place down another green terracotta block to both sides, one in the middle there, and then a mossy cobblestone wall like so. We then want to place down a dark oak fence gate that's going to come off these green terracotta blocks on top of those stairs, and a dark oak sign that's going to be on the side of the fence gates and only on the side. So like that, and also make sure you place a ladder on that last green terracotta block there. Once you have that all done though, that is going to wrap up what we have there for the back, and that is going to conclude everything there is there for layer 5. Here again is before we go and finish this off completely, we do also have these banners on the vehicle, and these are just again some shaping here for the cab of it. So the banners here, really simple. We're going to take a black banner. We're going to need 2 green dye for each banner, so total of 4, and 2 black banners. One banner, or for both banners, we're going to do a line of green, splitting the bottom half green while the top half stays black. And then for each banner, you're going to do a line vertically on the left side, third of the banner for one banner, and right side of the other. And you're just going to place them on the side of this black concrete block here with the green facing toward the rear of the vehicle and the black facing toward the front. So however you need to orientate them, that is how you're going to have them. So really simple stuff, and that is basically all you need there for layer number 5 of the build. Here is a top-down view, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 6. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 6. For layer 6 to start with, we're going to place down a row of 3 of zombie heads across those narrow brick walls, and then a flower pot to both sides. Going back from the flower pots, we're going to place down 2 daylight detectors, and in the middle space here, we're going to place down 2 dark prismarine slabs, then a end portal frame in the center there, and then a dark prismarine slab back from that. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and grab our gray carpet and a wither skeleton skull. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull coming off this flower pot like so to the side for like a little extra spotlight. And then on the other side, we're just going to place down a gray carpet on top of that wall. Behind this, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 2 of deep slate tile slabs here. And then we're going to place down 2 flower pots on top of those walls. We then want to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull coming off this slab here. And then a fence gate opened up like this on the left side, so like that. Then on the other side here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence post on top of this stair, and then we're going to place down a trapdoor here, here, and here, so you have 3 wrapped around like that. Once we have that finished there, we're going to go ahead and then just take our green carpet, or actually we're going to get to that in the next layer, so we're just going to leave that alone for right now. But behind this, we're going to take our green terracotta, we're going to place down a row of 5 across, then a second row of 5, and then a third row like so. We're going to take our end portal frames, we're going to place down a row of 5 of end portal frames as well, with a dark oak wood sign on both sides of those portals. And then we're going to place down a row of 5 of dark prismarine top slabs, or half slabs rather. Then once we get to this back section here, we're going to place down a row of 3 of top slabs in the center here of dark prismarine. We're going to go ahead and then place down an end rod that comes off the side of those. And coming off that end rod, we're going to place down a upside down prismarine stair, like that to both sides. Going forward from the prismarine stair, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor. And then after we have that done, we want to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of upside down dark prismarine stairs. So 1, 2, 3, like that there. And we want to go ahead and then place down a dark prismarine top slab coming off those like so. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and go off this top slab with a dark prism, or after that top slab rather. Okay, so we're not actually going to have these top slabs here. We're actually going to go and remove those, and it should just be that row 3 of dark prismarine upside down stairs. But after that, we're going to place down a row 3 of green terracotta, a second row of 3, and a third row. And we're actually going to go and extend this by 1 more out to the side, so you're going to place down basically 3 rows of 5 actually. Now, if you're on Java, we can go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, and we can place down an item frame that is going to be coming off of this green terracotta block. And then we're going to go ahead and place down a black concrete block. And realistically, this can be done for all versions. And then a dark oak wood sign if you're on Java. So like that. So after that's done there, we're going to go and then take our dark prismarine stairs and place down 3 upside down stairs to the sides here like so. And then we're going to place down 2 zombie heads or skeleton skulls like that. And then coming off those skeleton skulls, we're going to place down 2 zombie heads going forward from the skeleton skulls. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of upside down stairs. So you can have an upside down stair here and then a top slab to both sides of it like so. Once that's all complete there, we want to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor coming off the center stair and then a dark prismarine top slab going forward from it. After that, we're going to go and then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor to both sides of that slab, and then we're going to go and place down a row of 3 of these dark oak wood trapdoor, or sorry, row of 5 of dark oak wood trapdoors across the back. So it's going to kind of help start to form up our missile system here and all that fun stuff. And that is basically what you should have for this base to kind of get it started. Here again is an area overview of what this layer should look like once complete. And that's going to conclude everything for layer 6, and we'll be moving on to layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and take our green carpet, and we're going to place down a row of 3, 1, 2, 3 across this space, and then a row of 5 across the tops of these blocks. We're going to then place down 2 more rows of 5 going back, and that is going to kind of help cover up that front section there of the build. Now, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and start to get into, more again of this turret we're building up. So we're going to place down an anvil here and a mossy cobblestone wall to both sides on the top of those stairs. We then want to place down a dark prismarine stair to both sides like so, and then coming off that, we're going to place down a zombie head, and then we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate between those zombie heads. To the sides, we're going to go ahead and then grab our dark oak wood signs, and we're just going to place down a dark oak wood sign to the sides there of those stairs. And then after we have that done, we're going to go back from the stairs with another mossy cobblestone wall on both sides, and honestly this is going to take us all the way up to the front here. So we have 2 walls already, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to place down a green terracotta, filling in the middle space here between those walls. We're going to place down one more block here on the back, and then this is going to be followed with an upside down dark prismarine stair to both sides. For your missile launchers, we're going to place down 3 green terracotta blocks on top of those 3 blocks there, another row of 3, and then same thing over here. On the back of these blocks, or toward the front of the vehicle, I should say, we're going to place down our dark prismarine upside down stairs. And then we want to go ahead and place down item frames along the side of those stairs. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2. And then in those item frames, we're going to place down 2 black concrete blocks. And also, we're going to go and take our dark liquid signs. And if you're on Java, again, we'll just place our dark liquid signs on the side there of those stairs. After that is done there, we want to go ahead and then place down a row of 2 of deep slate tile walls. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And going forward from those walls, we're going to place down 2 zombie heads stacked off one another. So it's going to bring us to the front, or to the back there like that, creating our missile tubes and all that stuff along the side. And that is going to conclude everything we have here for this layer. Just try to make sure I'm not missing anything, and everything appears to be good to go. So with that, we'll probably just go ahead and now move into our final layers of the build. Alright guys, moving into our final layers here, we have layers 8 through 10. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we'll be going ahead and going to these stairs here. We're going to place down a zombie head like this to both sides, and then an end rod in between those stairs, or those skulls like so. We're going to go then place down a mossy cobblestone wall on top of that anvil. That's going to be where we'll be going and attaching our different radar systems. We'll get around to that a little bit later, but for the time being, we're just going to place down the wall. We're going to go ahead and then place down a dark prismarine slab. To both sides of that slab, we want to place down a zombie head. And then we're going to place down another slab going forward on both sides of that slab. We're going to place down a dark oak fence post. Then we're going to place down another anvil here in the center. And we're going to place down another dark prismarine slab going back. And on the sides of these 2 blocks, we're going to be placing down again zombie heads, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Once we get to this point, we're going to go ahead and then place down a end portal frame. That's going to sit here. And then we want to place down a dark prismarine stair. Or rather, sorry, actually first a green terracotta block coming off that end portal frame, and then a dark prismarine stair to both sides. And again, we're going to take our zombie heads and place them down to the sides of that end portal frame. After that, we want to go ahead and then place down a row of green stained glass panes. So just a row of 3 across the front there, like so. For your missile systems themselves, we're going to go ahead and grab some redstone repeaters and some flower pots. We're going to place down a redstone repeater here on the outsides with the notches spread apart, and then a flower pot right there next to them. For our guns, we're going to place down a dark prismarine slab here to both sides, then a dark prismarine top slab going forward. And then we want to go ahead and switch to deep slate tile slabs. We're going to place down a slab here going up, then a top slab. So again, same thing on both sides here. Top slab, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a half slab. So that's going to go ahead and create our guns here for it. And then we want to go ahead and grab our zombie heads, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 zombie heads, and then one more right here. And then we're going to place down wither skeleton skulls, and then 2 more zombie heads coming off the wither skeleton skulls. Same thing's going to be done over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 zombie heads, or rather, sorry, 3. And then we have 1 right there, our 2 wither skeleton skulls, and then 1, 2, 1, 2 coming off of that. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark prismarine slab on top of this anvil here. To the sides of it, we're going to place down a zombie head, then a dark oak sign that's going to sit on the side of the slab, and then an item frame on the frontier of that slab as well. In that item frame, we're going to place down a black bed, rotate it sideways, and then a dark oak sign on the side of that slab as well. So that right there is going to complete what we have for that, and that's going to honestly conclude what we have here for the layers. The next thing we're going to be moving into is going to be the different radar systems, so for the Panzer 1 and the Panzer 2, so you'll be able to kind of differentiate between the two. And again, the S1 version is the older version, the S2 is the more recent version, so you can kind of pick and choose between those, which you would rather have. With that though, let's go ahead and dive into the S1 radar system first. Alright guys, so for the S1 version, it's really straightforward and simple. All we're going to start with by doing is first going to these dark oak fence posts, and we're just going to place down 4 iron bars up for these radio antenna that are located on top of the turret. We're going to go and then take our green terracotta, we're going to place down a block on top of this wall here, and then 1 block to both sides. We're going to go and then place down a dark oak fence gate coming off of that, and then an end rod coming off the sides of that fence gate further. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of mossy cobblestone walls, row 3 across the top here, and then a row of 3 of green stained glass panes after that. On the top here, we're going to place down a row of 3 of dark oak trapdoors on top of those walls, open them up toward the front, and then we're going to place down a lever, come off this trapdoor, and flick downwards like that to connect up to that green stained glass pane. And that's really all you need to do for the Panzer 1. Super easy the Panzer S1. Super easy, a really easy radar system to throw on there, and that's it for the first version. And then we're going to be going ahead and now moving on to the S2. Moving on to the Panzer S2. The Panzer S2, we're going to go ahead and start off by going ahead and placing down 2 chains going up from these dark oak fence posts for our radio antenna, and then 2 iron bars up from that. The reason we're using chains here is that we're going to have some walls and glass panes that could connect up to those if we use iron bars, so it's just better to do the chains to avoid that connection. We're going to place down a green terracotta block here on top of this wall, and then one out to both sides. It's going to have an item frame on the side here of those blocks with green terracotta in the item frame, and then if you're on Java, again, we'll just do what we've been doing and place a dark oak sign on the side of that as well. We're going to place down another row of 3 that goes up, and we're going to do the same thing with our item frames to the sides, like so. And then on the bottom row here, we're going to place down a row of mossy cobblestone on both sides, and then we're going to place down a row of 3 green stained glass panes going up, and then a row of green terracotta across the top here, and then dark oak trapdoors across or on the sides of that row of 3. And then the very top here, we're going to place down a dark oak fence gate that is going to be positioned like this, or I believe like that. Let me go and double check here real quick, and it's actually going to be sideways. So it is going to be this way here. And then if you're on Java, we're going to type in the command /give @p Minecraft barrier block. So this command here, press enter, will give you this barrier block, which will place to both sides of that fence gate. If you're not on Java, I believe they go by the term structure blocks. So you can go ahead and use structure blocks to do the same effect, but basically you just want an invisible block that you can place down a dark oak sign coming off of. So really simple stuff there, and that's just going to be done to both sides, just like that of it, to go ahead and complete that radar system, and that right there is going to complete the Panzer S2. With that all out of the way, though, that's going to cover my 2 versions for the Panzer S1 and S2 self-propelled anti-aircraft weapon systems. If you guys do enjoy this tutorial, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for the build. This can be anything from a sign of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me credit for it, you're free to hero projects you guys are working on. With that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is McGarrett2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.